This is a dangerous animal. This is also a dangerous animal. So those were obvious. Even a baby would know. But it does take someone who decided being safe was better than a potential beef with an animal that never forgets. Trust me, you want to know what animal it is. Because not only will it go out of its way to kill you, it'll turn back and do it again just for the fun of the game. These are the animals that shouldn't be deadly, but somehow Mother Nature decided to make them. That's probably because there could be animals down there that we shouldn't know about. And to be honest, I'm okay with that. But scientists aren't. This is where all the problems begin. And to be honest, this is probably not even the worst thing that's going to come on this list.
I beg your pardon. I beg your pardon.
So what we're looking at is a cone snail. This little animal has enough venom to put your past, present, and future generation in a cemetery with a dose of its poison. And it does just that when it's hunting its prey. But I don't mean humans because it doesn't usually hunt them. But that doesn't mean you can't get stung and sent to the afterlife. But let me tell you about how it hunts and eats its prey. Snails don't look harmful, so they hide under the sand or sometimes just stay there. Because why not? When you have animals like sharks to worry about, snails just cease to exist. But that's the mistake the fish make, or in some cases, other snails. The cone snail has a harpoon, which is basically its tongue that latches onto nearby prey, paralyzing them instantly. Keep in mind, the prey is still alive. The snail then proceeds to open its mouth to morally questionable sizes just to swallow it whole. The last memory the fish has is being eaten by a fancy-looking underwater snail with a designer shell and a taste for suffering. The only thing it leaves behind is calories and trauma. If you're like me and you like going to the beach, you might want to hear this. Cone snails live in tropical and subtropical oceans. You can find them in tidal zones from California to Florida. They can be found in shallow waters. You know, the kind that humans like to splash in. Okay, the point is, since they're under the sand, you stepping on them becomes a real problem. The venom can lead to death without treatment. With that being said, there have been 36 reported deaths regarding cone snail. The moral of the story, if you get stung, seek medical attention immediately. Even without anti-venom, doctors somehow know what to do. Don't ask questions, just go. And if you skip all these steps, just take it like a champ and accept your fate. I won't say the death will be painful, but as Bruno Mars said, you should die with a smile. Next up, we got the elephant. Most people think of elephants as these peaceful, oversized therapists that just want to eat grass, flap their ears, and cry during Pixar movies. But nah. If you've ever seen an elephant go, "I'm not feeling that today," you know they don't play. You see, an elephant doesn't need claws. It doesn't even need venom. It just needs to be mad. And suddenly, you're just one angry stomp away from being a footnote in a nature documentary. I guess we all need to get famous somehow. And I'd love to say that's rare. But elephants have a kill count, and some of those weren't even accidents. Yeah, we're talking about revenge, rampages, and the time an elephant spun the block on a village like it had a score to settle. To be honest, I should make a video on the elephant itself. So let's state the obvious. Elephants are the largest land mammals on Earth. They can weigh up to 14,000 pounds. That's 7 tons of mess around and you're going to find out energy. They don't really have predators except when they're young. You would think there would be more elephants, but it's the complete opposite. They seem to have birth problems. Okay, not really, but mothers have to carry this baby that weighs as much as a refrigerator, 200 or 300 pounds for up to 23 months, basically 2 years. And they only give birth to one baby unless they have twins, which explains why they might be endangered. Specifically, Asian and African elephants. It also isn't the best that poaching and habitat loss happens, so it is our fault they're declining, making their crash out reasonable. But it doesn't mean it's right. Okay, but let me tell you why they're so dangerous. Aside from weighing almost as much as a truck, they remember everything. Most animals forget you existed after 5 minutes. An elephant remember your face, your grandma's perfume, and what shoes you had on when you disrespected it. There's a story of a woman in India who got trampled to death by an elephant. Then that same elephant pulled up to her funeral and trampled her body again. And it wasn't even close by. It traveled miles just to spin the block. That's not nature. That's beef. Elephants have flipped cars, crushed entire crops, and gone on revenge tours after one of their own was harmed. One guy thought it'd be cute to throw rocks at a wild elephant to scare it off his farm. Big mistake. The elephant came back that night, knocked his house down, and made sure he didn't see the next sunrise. You see the theme here? You do not want smoke with an elephant, because they don't just kill, they ruin your legacy. They're smart, they mourn their dead, They recognize themselves in mirrors, and they also know how to disrespect your life decisions if they feel like it. In places like India, Sri Lanka, and parts of Africa, human-elephant conflicts are real. Over 500 people die every year from elephant encounters. That's more than lions and crocodiles, and more than sharks and wolves combined. And most of the time, the elephants didn't even start it. Some mess with their babies and think it's okay to harass them for a selfie. Then the elephants respond, and suddenly everyone's shocked when they get yeeted into a tree. If you learn anything from this, it's to respect elephants. Don't try to act tough around them. If one ever stares at you for too long, apologize. Even if you don't know what you did, just say sorry and walk away. Because I'm telling you, you don't really have a choice.